I haven't got Pep's comment on the Spawn City Extra. Let's see what Pep had said. Uh, so, good evening, my people. Welcome back to True um, Blue Talk episode 2. Um, and today's show, we're just gonna dissect a bit of our reaction from Man City to, well, let's say Monaco to Man City 2. It was a 2-2 draw. It's our second game in the Champions League. And we're just going to hear our reaction, and we want to see, we want to also hear your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to start myself. Then I'll go around the panel with Kel and Daniel. Well, I'm not too upset with the draw myself because I thought it would be a hard game, especially Monaco away. But I'm kind of a bit concerned of the performance. It wasn't what we haven't seen, and it was pretty much what I've seen from last season. It was a game where we started well. We were controlling the game, we were knocking the ball about. We were creating chances, but we didn't create much chance. I think, first chance of the game we scored from Haaland, and then after we scored, we we were very poor. And within the 5 minutes after the score, we were giving the ball away. We were losing control. Even defensively, Josko Vardio was having some balls moments. And then Monaco scored, and when they equalised, that's when we increased our tempo. We went for the second, and then we went to the half time. Second half, we were creating chances, we're playing well, and I think, right, okay, we need to go for the third just to be more secure, because you know what City is like. But we didn't. Made some changes. He took Doku off. He brought in Savio. Then he took Gundo. Not Gundo. Sorry. He took on Rodri, and he brought in Nico Gonzalez. And from there, we were still had control of the game. I thought Nico Gonzalez was doing decent in my opinion. I think he was winning the ball back. He was spreading the ball across. And then in the last 15 minutes of the game, where we were all crying for the third goal, because we know what it is like. And the last 15 minutes of the game is when we start showing a bit of tightness. The legs was some of the players they couldn't get hold of the ball. Players like Tijani Reinders, for example, he was losing the ball all the time. And Monaco, fair play to Monaco. They made some good subs, and they changed the games for them. They were playing with speed, and we were just playing like we were happy with the results. Let's not concede. Let's just get away with the 2-1 draw, which is not a bad thing to do. However, you have to be very solid defensively. But then we consider stupid free kick, which we shouldn't. And then simple ball in the box. Nico Gonzalez tried to intercept. I've seen the replay. I've seen the moment back, and I don't think that was a penalty. I just feel like he won the ball. But other people have different opinion. But from there, I just feel like from before the penalty, we were playing way too safe. We were kind of very conservative and very cautious. We didn't look like a team who were trying to go for the third goal. We were just okay. Let's just sit and knock the ball about, just keep possession and board the opposition team to death. And that's a dangerous place. That we've seen that it doesn't really work. We've seen that last season. We've seen that even against Brighton early on in the season. It doesn't work. You have to go for the kill. And then when we conceded, it's when we start playing with a bit more urgency. It was like 4 minutes left, and then we were kind of asking ourselves, where was that urgency before? It's like if you remember, after we conceded, we had chance with Joshua Vardy where he should have scored it, but I, I think we had a counter opportunity with Savio. Then when he lays off the ball to Bernardo Silva, Bernardo Silva tried to do it. I don't know what he was trying to do in there. Honestly, is a counter attack. All you need to do is just run with the ball and lay it off quick. You don't need to keep. You don't basically need to hold on to the ball and try to take him out on. It's 3v3. Just play the ball quick. But then he's the captain, so he must have known what he was doing. I don't know. But yeah, the game ended with 2-2. There was a bit of reaction from the fan base online. I was hearing the space, and a lot of people just blame orders that didn't really make any sense. I've seen people blaming Viana, lack of right back. I listen. I don't think the right back was an issue last night. It was just we were just showing the signs that we've seen, same old habits. That's why I titled the stream. It's just same old habits. Well, the performance wasn't too bad, but we've seen this sort of performance and these sort of results before. The lack of not not being clinical in the final third. Obviously, we've got the best striker in the world. He scored 2 goals. He's shown that he doesn't need that many chances to put the ball in the back of the net. However, the players around him are the biggest concern, because they cannot score goals, and that's a concern. And my biggest also criticism from last night was the substitution. I thought when he was trying to bring Savio on was to play in a right wing. That way you could have outlets in both sides of the pitch rather than just going one side. Because let's face it, Bernardo Silva, he didn't do anything, did they? So he was just, I don't know what he was doing throughout the whole 90 minutes in that game. Because some people were crying for Oscar Bob in there. But I've been saying that even before the transfer window, we lack goal scorers in this team. We lack numbers. Well, not numbers, but we lack quality in the attack. We've got the numbers, but we don't have the quality because fans are relying on Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob hasn't scored more than 2 goals a season ever since he was promoted to the first team. I don't know why you relying on him to come into this team and score a bunch of goals. He's not scoring. Savio, listen, I think fans are getting
You're being too harsh on him. I've seen
with
people literally blaming him for yesterday, and I'm like,
I think
he's a sub off the bench. Like, relax.
Well, the frustration with Savio comes throughout the whole transfer window, the whole transfer saga. I feel like the fans have lost faith in him. If he was a player that came out and say, right, say for example, when we went to the Club World Cup, players like John Stones, Nathan Ake, they would come out and say, like, I'm not thinking about leaving. I want to stay at this football club. But Savio would just keep posting Instagram posts on in the gym. He wasn't really saying anything. There was clearly an intention of leaving in there, because if you don't come out or you don't put a statement out, then the fans start asking questions, and you stayed, and every time you come on, you're not really doing anything. You had a start against Burnley on the last weekend. On the weekend, you didn't really do anything, and I think the fans have been getting a bit frustrated because it's Savage is a player that shown a bit promising signs last season, especially at the beginning of the season. But now it can't. I think he's struggling to get into his fit. But listen, I just feel like some of the criticism was a bit unfair on him. But that's what comes with playing for a big club. It's not like you're playing for Girona. That's a massive club. And it's any results that the fans don't like, they'll start looking at individual performances. But listen, it's a hard away game, but it's a game that Monaco was there for the taking. They were playing in a back five, and every time we scored a goal, they changed their formation to a back four. He was like, right, okay, we're losing the game, let's go for it. And every time they changed the tactical formation, City lost control of the game. They were like sloppy in the past. They were making stupid errors, and we've seen that before. And it's a major concern. Couple of individual performance I need to highlight in that game. I think John Stones, he's not up to speed. For me, I don't know why he was starting a right back. There was a moment in that game, he was a yard in front of the left wing of Monaco. He was running for the ball and he literally got paced. And I was like, what, what are we doing here? Why are you still playing? Do you know what I mean? Listen, he's I think he's 32 now. I just feel like we need it's time for him to move. It's time for us to move on from him. Riley, I think Riley did well. I've got no concerns about Riley there. Rodri, he came on. He for the minutes he was on the pitch, he was trying to. You can see the quality of Rodri in there. Foden was he played really well. Doc was a bit at he wasn't his day, but I think with Doku, I think if you only have an outlet on the left hand side and you have nothing on the right hand side, people will start targeting Doku and they'll make it very difficult for him to come into games. So you need something in that left hand side just to give a bit of headache to the opposition. But he didn't have a great game. But I thought he would stay in the pitch because when you 2-1 up away from home, you have to keep the players that can in any moment of the game can make the difference. Do you know what I mean? These sort of players, they need to stay on the pitch. That's why you kept Haaland for 90 minutes. You have to keep Doku for 90 minutes on the pitch. If you want to bring Savio, you take off your captain because he was not really doing anything. I don't remember a moment he got past that right back or the left back of Monaco. He didn't. Every time the ball got into him, he was giving 4-5 touches on the ball. He was laying the ball back because he just doesn't have it on him anymore. If you guys remember Bernardo Silva when we went to away in Munich in the treble season, he was cooking Davies or whoever his name is, the left back for Munich. But now the last 2 seasons of Bernardo Silva, he's been nothing but an embarrassment, if I'm honest. The guy comes across in press conference or interviews. He tells all the right things or the nice things that you guys want to hear. The fan base will be clapping for him or my captain. When it comes down to go on the football pitch and show for it, it's non-existent. Like, do you know what I mean? You're just talking basically. How about you do the talk on the pitch? And every time, and I don't see him as a captain of this football club taking any responsibility. I saw the interview from Haaland. He came out with his chest and he said, "I wasn't good enough in the second half. I should have scored 1 or 2 goals." Then you've got your captain come in the interview and a press conference and start blaming all the opposition players. It happened again against Arsenal. I think it wasn't Arsenal. Against Burnley. No, sorry, Brighton. It was blaming the Brighton goalkeeper for wasting time. How about you take some responsibility? Do you know what I mean? Why you keep blaming opposition players? You look at yourself first. Do you know what I mean? You've got Erling Haaland, who is the 5th choice captain, taken on the chin. You've got Rodri comes out and criticizing their own teammates, but you as a captain, you try to shoehorn anything, away from your team, away from yourself first, and blame it on the position and the referees. What's that all about? But anyway, you guys know my opinion on him. He should have been gone years ago, but the manager fancies him, so we just have to accept it. But yeah, I wasn't too upset with the performance. It was just a few moments in that game where it was stressing the life out of me because every time we were leading the game, we were just slowing the game down. and that's not a sign of a team that wants to win trophies. You have to go and kill opposition team, especially when they're there for the taking. But Kel, what do you reckon? What's your opinion? I'll go around the panel. I'll start with Kel, then I'll go to Daniel, and then Moto.
I mean, I thought it was like a decent game yesterday. I'm not going to say that it was a great game, but I think that's on most days enough to get you a win on the road. And you can tell we still have some quality, but right now we're just having this problem where we can't play for 90 minutes. Like we were good in the first half, and then second half was a problem again, particularly at the end of games. And this has been an issue for over a year now. Like we just cannot close games out. Like these people, like the players just don't have it anymore. Like the new players don't have that mentality, and the older ones are losing it. So it's frustrating. We just are having problems, you know, another late pen late in the game, another Bozo mistake, you know. I thought Nico G had a really good game when he came on, and it's kind of sad that everyone's just going to remember that he just gave up the pen. But, you know, it wasn't some like world-class performance, but, you know, when Rodri's not playing, I think he's fine. I don't think he's spectacular, but I think he's getting the job done. Are there better options out there? Probably, but we don't have those other options. We have Nico G, and I think he's doing a decent job. So, yeah, and also never would have been a situation if Tajani or Foden had put their chances away. And it's kind of alarming that we only have Erling Haaland scoring goals, because if something happens, I don't want to know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, if something happens to Erling, who's scoring the goals? So it's that's a little frustrating. And Rodri, I think Rodri's health is becoming a problem.
Haaland won't be scoring goals every game. If Haaland have a 1 or 2 games off, who's going to be scoring for this team?
I don't know. Because right now, it's tied for second on most goals scored on the team is own goal. That guy from Burnley. Although I think that goal should have gone to Foden, but whatever. So it's just, the Rodri situation is becoming a little frustrating, because like the only way for him to get better is to play, and then when he plays too much, he had the knee pain. He already had one injury, one setback from coming back. But the quality is still there. Like in the Napoli game, go rewatch that. He was quite good in that game. So we know Rodri's still in there, but we're just kind of in that spot where it's just going to take him some time to get back. And we want him to get better, because we know that we're so much better with him. And the back line, I think we found the formula, but unfortunately, I think it's just too reliant on Husanov right now. And Husanov keeps picking up injuries, so that could be a concern. Yesterday, I think the only thing that Pep really got wrong yesterday was the right-hand side. I agree with you. John Stones cannot be a right back anymore. And if we actually renew his contract, I think we're making a massive mistake. I don't think he's good enough anymore. It's just sentimentality. And then the problem is the manager will play him, and he's not good enough anymore. So it's like with Bernardo. Bernardo Silva is not good enough anymore. He'll have some good games, but he's getting older. He's not going to be consistent. He was very poor yesterday. He's being put in a position he can't do anymore. He should never be on that wing. If we're trying to score goals, you're playing with 10 men. And we can't afford that, because like I said, our defense is still kind of leaking some goals. It's getting better, but it is leaking goals. And so you need to take the bozos off the pitch, and you need to take the players who aren't contributing offensively off the pitch. And Pep it doesn't matter how many stickers Bernardo has. Bernardo will never get benched. Pep is just addicted to him. And I'm not saying like that's the reason that the game was a draw, but it's an issue long-term, I think, for this team. And until that option is removed from Pep, which I think John Stones also needs to be removed from Pep will just keep playing them. And it doesn't matter what their quality is. And it's holding us back. There's just no point in it anymore, but there will be moments where they can help us. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see how long it takes to see what happens. Like to see if it costs us. It's like giving Bernardo that captaincy. I think it's going to define our season. I haven't decided if it's going to define it for the good or define it for the bad. So it's just kind of a wait and see. But not the end of the world. I had some really, I put some panicky tweets out yesterday, but I had a really bad day at work, and it's kind of continuing right now. So I'm a little nervous about that. I actually have to go, so I'm going to end my rant, and then I have to go. I have a work thing I have to attend to, but decent win. You know, I think this team is getting better. I think players are getting better. Like Doku's getting better. Nico G is getting better game by game. Nunez is even improving, and Nico O'Reilly. We got to highlight him. I think he's been a revelation at left back. Nori's not coming straight back into this team. So yeah, we just have to just keep on developing these players and stop relying on the old ones. They're just not good enough anymore. So, anyways, I gotta go, guys. But enjoy the stream.
No, big up, Kel. Big up, Kel.
Bye.
Big up yours truly, Highness Roarer. Yeah, Fox Williams. Yeah, we good, man. We good. How are you? Hunter Trey on the chat. Big up, man. Daniel, what are you saying, man? What would you reckon? What do you make of the game?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, can you hear me?
No, man.
Wait, hold on. What about now?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, good.
Okay, hold on. What's going on with the AirPods? The game left me a little bit frustrated. I am with you where I'm concerned on the distribution of goals. It seems like asking other players to step up and score more goals or needing more goals is a polarizing question. I like to look at the data from the game and then just see where the game was and calm down after the overreaction. I thought the game was too close for what it was. I think with the amount of injuries that Monaco had out, I don't think the game should have been as close as it was, but fair play to the opposition. The defensive tackles, it was fairly even. One of the part that did concern me, and you kind of alluded to it, there were way too many sloppy passes on our side to the point that you look at the number of dispossessed plays. City were out dispossessed by 5 balls in comparison to 4 that Monaco had. Although we won our aerial duels, and this goes back to, again, the sloppy passes and the 50-50 balls, ground duels, Monaco beat us by 51 to 49%. So they were clearly more aggressive on trying to recover the ball and just take advantage of their chances. You look at the heat map for the players that started, the players that were substituted. On the left-hand side, where they were, Doku and Nico O'Reilly were both moving up and down the flank, but then also active in the final third. The opposite on the right hand side, if you look at the heat map of where Bernardo was a touchline winger, but he wasn't going towards the final third. And then you had John Stones as a right back that was, at least from his heat map, he was inverting a little bit to the middle, but then even going upright, he wasn't going to the final third. So you had a right back that was trying to play the ball in, but then also not necessarily pushing up. 2 players on one side that, frankly speaking, makes it a little bit redundant and easy for the opposition to mark Doku, which Monaco were doing at one point, where they had 2 players within a series of distance near Doku, which made it a little bit easier for them to be able to mark. And that's where I have a concern. I know the manager, I know Pep loves Bernardo, and I appreciate everything that he's done, and I'm not trying to single him out. But if you look at the number of big chances created, number of shots on target, number of shots overall, even offside target, we should have won more. And the fact that this team is still finding its way, but not clinical enough against.
Your sound is going off, bro.
Hold on, I'll switch to my microphone. Hold on. What about now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you look at the number of shots that we had, dribbles, all that stuff. The game shouldn't have been that close. Fair play, hit the bar and all that. But against better opposition, if you are not clinical enough, if you are too reliant on Holland and you're playing a right-sided lineup, or in some cases, you're nullifying Doku on your own by not putting any other threat on the opposite side for the opposition to worry about, it makes it easier for the team to be defended against. Phil Foden can create so many chances. Holland can try and get on the end of the ball. Guys need to do more, or the manager needs to come up with a more creative way. And thinking back, I do agree with you. although we want to see Savio on the left, if you weren't going to bring on Oscar Bob, and you're right in him not being a goal scorer in the amount of goals that he scored over the years, if you were going to bring on Savio, keeping on Doku and having Savio to the right, even if they're ineffective, the goal threat
The
that the
goal threat,
opposition,
yeah.
yeah,
He
the
pushes the
opposition would
opposition
have
back.
had to worry about, it would have changed the format of the game in towards of how they were going to press, the aggression that they were going to have, or even the number of men that they were going to commit when they would go forward. Because if the game was as close as it was on a 51-49, just even on the ground duels and us winning aerial duels, even if we dispossessed them, I do think we would have had chances on the break with
Mm.
those two wingers and them being worried about Holland. It's more space and opportunity. Go look at Reinder's heat map for this game as well. Why was he pushing upwards towards the right if you had a right winger and Bernardo
Yeah, he
there?
was, he was, he was.
And
I was
Johnson
like,
and
yo. There was a moment, yeah, where
mm,
Reinder was literally playing right wing, and I was like, what on earth is going on? But it's interesting that you said that everything seems to go towards the right, but we've seen that in for in a row season where everything was just going towards the left and on Doku's side because Bernardo Silva um was the main right winger. So everything was just playing towards Doku's side. Obviously, Jack Grealish was coming on, but he was or Alvarez, Foden, and Haaland was like winning us football matches. But fast forward 2 years later, we still haven't Bernardo Silva right wing, and we still having everything has to go to through Doku's side. It's like if you made that sub, yeah, if that sub was Savio on for Bernardo, even though listen, it wasn't guaranteed I would score. However, it would push the opposition back. It would like the opposition would like, oh, hold on. Now they've got attacking threats on both sides, so we need to be careful. But having that sub, like just keeping everything going to one side. If you imagine that counter-attacking moment that we had, if that was Savio, Haaland, and Doku going for it, we probably would have a much better chance to score.
Mateus, I'll go one step further with you. I think it's fine if you're going to play Bernardo on the right wing. Bernardo's not a bad player. I do think maybe we're not seeing the best facets of his game
He's
because
finished.
okay, I'm not going to go all the way there. You've converted me, but not all the way. Um, we're not going to see the best facets of his game because some of the other players that are needed, let's say centrally, are not there. It makes sense if you're going to recycle the ball, if you have a creative outlet like KDB and Rodri when fit, to then create, take shots from outside the box, or even when you had Alvarez. It makes sense. You want to give those other guys as many touches as they can, which is the control aspect on having Bernardo there. Then that makes sense if you're trying to argue that. It doesn't make sense when you have a Rodri is not in form, a Phil Foden that is not Kevin De Bruyne by no fault of his own, a Tijani Reinders that is trying to find his way and from. You are recycling the ball into guys that, yes, you may want them to be on the ball, but if we're going to go over the 8 game sample outside of Foden, they haven't shown that they have the capability to be able to justify Bernardo being on there, but then that the end result is going to yield something positive consistently. We haven't seen it yet. I hope we do, but we haven't. And so if you have that and you have somebody like Bernardo constantly recycling, you are eliminating the threat of taking your man 1v1 and the big man then running into the box or Doku or someone crashing into the far end of the post. That's where it becomes problematic. And I don't know if for Pep, the for as much as we want to play direct and all that stuff with the tinkering with Pep Linders, I do still believe that if you leave him to his vices, he likes control. He likes control. He
Yeah,
likes
yeah, it does. It
he,
does. We get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, he likes control. He likes passing. So if that's the case, he will live with the fact that Bernardo's not going to take his man on, and the ball will get recycled in. But then you also then have to live with the fact that Reinders may not score. Rodri's going to take time to find his form, and Phil Foden cannot be Kevin De Bruyne. He has to be Phil Foden. So then, if
Mm.
that's the case,
then feed the big man. Don't recycle the ball in if you're going to take one too many touches. Feed the big man. Get the ball into Big Earl because if we're going to play the numbers game, he's going to score eventually. But if you're not going to feed Big Earl and the ball's going to be in the middle, I'm sorry. It's death by a thousand paper cuts of us watching the ball. That that transition fast break that we had towards the end of the game, I saw it and I immediately thought
Yeah,
about you.
and we also need to remember that even Foden, he needs someone to actually fit him at
Yes,
times.
yes,
Do you know
and
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and when you've got just an outlet on one side of the pitch and nothing going on the other side, it gives you a lot of pressure on the guy, like, on the players like Doku. They feel like, right, okay, nothing is really happening, so I need to make something happen because when you might have like look on the other side, nothing is going on. Like there's no crosses even coming from that side because I'm making running into the box. There's nothing. Like no one is crossing from that side. So I need to get out like come out the opposition box, get the ball and try to create something because not many people are creating in that team, and it's a big concern. It's still early on in the season, but
yeah. But Mateus, one other part, and I think even with this, when Nico G played that ball over the top to Holland and then scored, it made the opposition then now to be concerned of when Nico G is on the ball. The athleticism threat is there if he decides to push forward, if he decides to overlap, or if he decides to dink the ball over the top. They saw something. When you had John Stones, he didn't do enough on the ball, or at least he's not known to do enough on the ball from a right back. The opposition is not worried. There was
yeah,
no through pass even on the flanks played into Bernardo to where the opposition is going to be like, well, I have to worry about if they play a ball into Bernardo and Bernardo decides to then cut in and square it. That wasn't there. So it's you self nullified yourself from a threat standpoint, and I can't understand why. And then I'm just gonna say this for anyone saying that we should contend, and I want us to win the league, but some realistic things have to also kick in. And I'm sorry for hogging the mic. If they do not wake up and understand that they need to kill games sooner rather than later, teams are going to get the idea. City are going to keep us in the game. We just have to
mm.
stay in the game, and we need just one big moment. That's it.
and and we've seen that because I think this team can only play for 75 minutes the way we play because after that everyone is just knackered. And for if you play for 75 minutes and you're not killing games off, then the opposition can smell blood. They can. It happened
Yes.
against Brighton. Brighton, we were able to control the game, but after I think from 75, from 75th and 76, we were just knackered. We were losing the ball. I think even we were making some silly challenge, like because Mite, yeah, it was causing that defense so many problems to a point where the legs were tired. John Stones was tired. He was ducking off, like he was even going throwing himself into tackles anymore because we were tired, and the opposition knows that. So what the opposition is, would they start doing? Like, okay, we know we can go head to head against this team from minute one. Yeah, let's keep tight. Yeah, let's wait around later on. Let's try not concede. Yeah, and in the second half, let's give it let them have their moments for the first 20-25 minutes of the first half of the second half, and then we go for it. And they know it. It's easy. That's the easiest way to beat Man City because we're not scoring enough goals up front, and it's a massive concern. We've seen that last season. Oh, we played well. Mistakes cost us in the game. Oh, if we took our chances in the first half, we would be offside. Or if we took our chance in that game, it is a different story. Juventus, Sporting, Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford. Um, we've seen that last season. Why is it a continuation to this season? Why is it so hard, apart from Erling Haaland, for other players to actually score goals?
That I don't know, but you know what's
It's
interesting? Even
quality problem.
yeah, well, it is. But even with the Brighton game, correlation again. We made 3 subs. Monaco made 5. Is
Yeah,
that the recipe to beat City? Stay close and then bring a tranche of new players, up the energy,
they
and
made
and take
yesterday.
it
They made 4.
5. They
Monaco.
made 5. I just looked at it. They made 5
Yeah,
substitutions versus 3. So I don't know. There's something there. I mean, he cried for substitutions. I saw the interview that he did a couple years ago. Just wait till I get 5 substitutions, and you'll find out. And now you're hesitant to
why
make
do you think the
subs.
opposition make 5 subs? Because they know we are tired.
Yeah, yeah. 5-3.
Why have Pep always been stubborn with this substitution thing? Like, is something since last season we have been complaining about? Like, is something about Pep
He
with
doesn't like he
substitution?
doesn't make he doesn't like to make subs. He said in the press conference he doesn't like to make subs.
That is a problem. It is.
But what can we do, man?
I mean, yeah, we
There's
are
an
just
echo. Sorry,
fans.
bro. There's an echo in your mic.
Oh, there's what on my mic? Oh, echo.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay? Let me adjust my mic, please.
Go on, Daniel. Go on. See, that's the problem. He said in the press conference that the reason why he doesn't make any subs is because he doesn't like to make subs. He trusts the same 11 to see out the game. But the game is changing right now, yeah? And especially with this group of players who you've literally, yeah, have they've run out of gas because they've been going like for the past 6 to 8 years through title challenge. They cannot physically play 90 minutes, majority of them. The young players they can, like Doku, Reinders, Foden, they can play 3 games, Haaland's, but players like Bernardo Silva, Stones, Ake, for example, even Rodri that you've said, the Rodri's not physically ready to play the 3 games, not even 90 minutes. Yeah, these are the players that Bernardo Silva. Yeah, you people were saying that he's now going to be the captain. He's going to be playing less minutes. Remember, Fernandinho when he was the captain, Pep was going to manage his minutes, and I said it. These things that you just say, you just lying to yourself. It's like you don't know your manager. He will play Bernardo Silva every 90 minutes, if possible, every single game, because he needs to literally just suck the light out of that guy to a point where the guy cannot run. Why do you think like highlights of Bernardo Silva majority of the game is just when he gets a yellow card and when he's arguing with the referee? Because the guy can't run. Yeah, he's physically, yeah. When you've got players like that, you have to change them, man. You got to change them. You can't get that. Listen, I don't know. I don't know about that. Go on then.
Yeah, it's interesting. And even just talking about minutes, now I'm looking at it. Top minutes in the team. Tijani Reinders is first, then Holland, then Diaz, then Nico, and then Bernardo. I don't know if Nico would be there if Ike Nori was playing, but Bernardo is there. He's going to use him, and granted, again, I don't think he's a bad player, and I do think he's just something to contribute, but you can't play him. I think Kelso or others said it in other spaces, but certain lineup combinations work with certain players and some don't. I think we've seen that Doku works when he has a fullback that's there to work with him. And I think Oscar Bob works with Mateus Nunes when he's there. Then, granted, there's a negative side to that as well with some of the mistakes that are sometimes made, but it's the threat. I don't think you can put Bernardo and John Stones together as a combo. And if we go back to the treble, and I hate going to it, but I'm going to. the final against Inter Milan, John Stones was playing what, closer inside as a six? I want to say. Was he the one coming more inside? Where was Bernardo at that game? Was he a right winger out now?
I don't even notice he was playing. He's done nothing on that. To be fair, that Champions League final we were really poor. It was
Well,
poor.
listen, I actually went back and I've watched that game, and the amount of chances Ederson showed up that game, but the amount of chances that Inter squandered, I think if they replayed that final,
They'll beat us.
yeah, I think they would have been. I'm happy they didn't.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but but sometimes that's the Champions League. You need luck to go your way as well, but you also need to seize the moments. And I think for this team, if they want to contend, the luck is going to be there, but you've got to be clinical. You've got to, and I'm honestly concerned, just like John Stones with Holland, if he goes down, knock on wood, he does not go down. But if he goes down, who is going to score the goals on this team? I don't want to see false nine Phil Foden. I like Phil Foden, what he's doing this season, at least through the middle. I'd like to see it carry on for the remainder of the season. If you then put him into, say, like a false nine role, I think that may be what the
Brother, it's 2025 and they're still going through this Pulse 9 thing. Jesus Christ. It's like
yeah. Well,
it's like, do you remember when we sold Alvarez and we brought Gundo back, and people, like a lot of people, like especially in a lot of channels, yeah, they were like, "Oh, Gundo coming back, he's going to solve a lot of problems. He gives Haaland a rest. He also gives Rodri some rest because he can play as false nine and he can play deep line." And I was like, why you guys just lying to yourselves? Like that's not 2018 or 2020 anymore. It's like people not clocking in it. Like it feels like people just say a lot of rubbish, yeah, just to appease the masses. Yeah, it's like, oh, I would give John Stones a 1 year deal just for the experience, and maybe Ake just for the experience, right? Okay, John Stones and Ake, they came on for Arsenal, yeah, to see out the game, yeah, and we consider in the last minute. Where was the experience?
yeah. I mean, I read somewhere that Martinelli for that Arsenal goal
But no,
was
where was the experience? They were
well,
all
no, well,
everyone on the
the experience wasn't there.
See, that's the problem. Yeah, these things about, oh, let's skip this player X, Y, and Z for experience is a bunch of bullshit. People just lie to themselves.
I was saying that in the space with Martin, and they were giving me pushback, and validly so. You know, Bernardo is, he runs the most, or he's there for his duels. And I said,
Runs
well,
where? Where
well,
does he
well,
run to?
well, build with me. I said, okay, that's fair, but if you're going into your duels and you're only winning 50% of them, you should not be winning 50%. You should be coming away winning your duels more times than not to justify why you're out there running as much. Otherwise, I don't know if it's always going to be a net positive. And then this morning, who's the one writer said, well, when Bernardo starts, it's 12-4. When Bernardo doesn't start, it's four. It's a tie. It's four wins, four losses, and that really made me frustrated. Yeah,
That's
it made me frustrated
that's
because
just a lot of push, honestly.
yeah, because to me that was like you're trying to dismiss what people can see from the game.
Okay, so do you know these 4 wins? Yeah? How many of them 4 wins Bernardo scored or assist?
Has he had an assist yet?
Wait, their argument doesn't really make any sense. Is literally, yeah. If they're saying that, oh, when he starts, we were winning football matches, and we were like, how
He's got
many?
one assist so far. One assist.
Yeah, we won 4 when he started 4. Okay, how many of those 4 matches he scored or provided an assist?
Well, that's the thing. The headline and the starting piece it puts too much weight on him, and it doesn't put enough weight on the other guys and what they're doing. Did On the losses, did we lose because Bernardo wasn't there to win 50% of the duels, or did we lose because of some mistakes that might have occurred because the ball bouncing the other way, or a guy just making a flat out mistake? I hate fluff pieces like that when they come out because it's almost, and again, I'm not trying to pile on him. I'm not.
Okay, yeah, I've got
But
one more question to the
yeah,
panel, yeah, and I will say, right, okay. We've played. I think we've played 9 games so far. 2 in the Champions League, one in a Carabao Cup. Albeit he didn't play. And what game are we on? Is it game 5 on the Premier League? How many games have we played in the Premier League?
Game 6.
Right. Okay. From all of these games that we've played, yeah. Can anyone tell me a moment in the final third that Bernardo Silva did as a captain of this football club, and you were like, "Wow"? Give me a moment. Which game?
We
Because
still
he's an
we are
attacking player.
we are still waiting for that in the future. At the moment, there is none.
Uh, but he is unplayable. He runs a lot. He works his socks off. He works hard. Do me a favor, the guy. Yeah, I've been telling you all of you for months. That guy is a disgrace, and for the Pep Guardiola to put him as a captain just sums everything up. The guy's nicking 300k a week. Yeah, and what he does, he's been brainwashing the entire fan base. Yeah, through his interview. It's not surprised that he does like 5 interviews a week and he say all the nice words that you want to hear. Standard. I want to put this club where it belongs. Oh, we have to start winning trophies. Or I want to um be an example in the dressing room. I want to make sure everyone knows what City is all about. All these things that he does is to brainwash you, so you can go in the comments. Oh, my captain. Oh, Benedict. Oh, best captain we've ever had. Example to follow. No, 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 no. Forget all this bullshit. Yeah, ask him. I start asking question when he step on that football pitch. Yeah,
well, they're gonna
talking is easy. I can do all this talking. I can come in here and say, well, we played really well. I think it's only September or it's only October. I think we're gonna improve." No, 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 no. How about you as a captain, wear the captain armband, be one of the highest players in the entire squad, well, he's the second, highest earner after Haaland. Yeah. How about you go out there on the pitch, stop doing interviews, stop coming with chatting a lot of crap in interview, doing interviews saying standards or why not we need to. How about you go out there yourself, and put performances on the football pitch, saying, right, okay, guys, we're not winning this football match. Give me the ball, and I'm gonna start winning the game for you. How about that?
you know it's funny. You just made me remember. Anytime our players get linked or threatened to leave, they get a new contract. Have you noticed that? Rico's got an offer from Forest.
I
New
wish my
contract.
payroll was from Manchester City. I would have milked the shit out of it.
And Matthias, this my other concern is again, I actually I do like Savio and I think he's a good player. Um, I just wonder if the club has a little bit of fear, and rightfully so, of letting a player go and the player ball out. So they're now in this. We need to keep him to save our reputation on being viewed making a mistake. It was kind of the same way with O'Reilly, where he had the quote unquote the Chelsea $40 million or £40 million, sorry, link. He got an extension. Bernardo was openly flirting with Barcelona for 2 years, and he got an extension. I'm concerned that if let's say Pep extends, right? Because some of these signings and decisions, it seems like he wants to extend, he wants to win now. Anytime he doesn't get his way, does he pick up the call to Soriano and say they're not giving me my toys? And Viana gets blocked. Or if Viana wants to do something and he takes it to Pep, management up above says, "Well, you're not going to do it. We're going to go with what the manager wants." To me, it's the start of a disconnect that's happening. I know clubs sometimes block moves, but if you are going to block a move, I understood when it was for Bernardo, when Pep was the one that was intervening and openly, publicly making the comments. Then I understood then. I don't understand even still why Soriano would peg his reputation, at least in the short term, with blocking the Savio move. I to me that's a big risk because if it doesn't work out as well, well, you kept a player that you could have sold that wasn't producing. Then the potential wasn't there, but then you took the bank and there's no guarantee that he's going to be a top player the way Pep is saying. The talent may be there visibly, but in between the ears, that's where I'm starting to question him. Between him and Doku, and again, I said this in Martin's space yesterday. Doku may have his flaws, but Doku has shown the desire to at least keep going and try. Listen, he's got one trick, but he'll keep doing that one trick until everybody gets frustrated or you sub him off. I don't see that with Savio. I don't see that same. I'm going to continue to do my move no
Look
matter
at this
what.
comment here, Daniel. Daniel,
Mm.
look at Kyle Walker's situation. He wanted to go to Bayern, and we gave him an extension.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gundogan wanted to leave. He left, but the minute he could come back, they brought him back and they paid him.
Two
They paid him
years, 230K a week. Gave him a
because
2 year deal. What are we
because
doing?
because
It's
one of
like
the
who is running? Yeah, this football club.
Matthias, one of the other reasons why Barcelona wanted to get rid of Gundogan, they wanted Gundogan to take a pay cut so that Barcelona could register some of the other players. And the players like you asked me to come here, I came here, you gave me a contract, and now you're asking me the next year to take a pay cut. I'm not gonna do that. Either let me go, and I've got another offer for a little bit more money back at City, but I'm not
Yeah.
taking a pay cut to come and play over here. So what did we
Right.
do?
Yeah. Let me just go into Watson Bila. I need to hear his thought on the game, and then I'm gonna go through what the shit is there. Big up him. Bila, tell me your thoughts on the game and yesterday's performance.
How does my mic sound now? Is it better?
Nah,
Immaculate, immaculate.
Yeah,
we're still hearing ourselves.
through my cell phone. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you all have pretty much touched everything, which is relatively my concerns. But I'm just going to summarize it very much. We have a big issue of killing games. When I say killing games, I'm talking about us having the lead and then protecting that lead and seeing the game off. That is a big problem. And then the goal distribution as well. That is one of the greatest problems we have, because I keep asking myself, all these games that we have played, if Haaland had a long-term injury and he's not available, could we see ourselves counting up to 5 goals from the beginning of this season? I'm just asking. Like, I'm looking at every possibility of getting it. What's that now? Yeah, so like seriously, we have very big issues at the club. Creativity in the final third, um, um, good decisions or better decisions in the final third, and finishing. But not only limited to that, the issue is, even if it's a tight game, can we preserve that lead? A 1-0 lead, even 2-0 lead. I can't put my money on City on a 2-0 lead that we can protect it and see it off. So these are really bad. Most of the concerns you all have pretty much touched most of the things that is going on with the club. So at the moment, I'm confused. I really don't know where we are going, holding on to players that we are supposed to release, and just the quality of the team as a whole is a big problem. So we are going downhill, in my opinion.
Mm, mm. Uh, Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think. Sorry, what's a bit like? I need to put it on mute because of the sound. I don't think we are going downhill. I think our problems are easy to fix, in my opinion. I think obviously the goal scoring problem we need to address that in January. That's why a few days before the transfer window shut, I think we done a space 3 days before when we discussed Akanji's leaving and Gundo is they ripping up the contract and whatnot. And I said on that space, yeah, we need another goal scorer. And people saying, oh, we don't have any problem in attack. We've got Cherky, we've got Foden, we've got Marmouche. And I said, this isn't that we've got Bob. That's not good enough because you don't know, you haven't seen Bob score a lot of goals, yeah. Albeit he was injured last season, but yet he was fit the season before. He only scored one goal, which was against Newcastle in the league. Yeah, we haven't seen Cherky. Yeah, just because he came against Wolves and scored doesn't mean he's a goal scorer. He scored 8 goals in French league last season, and he scored 4 in the Europa League. But we don't play Europa League; we play a much higher level that requires you to actually have a top class player. Marmouche is still early. He done well for the first half of the season, but having a full season and he's completely different. And now he's injured and he's going to AFCON. For Haaland, we know Haaland can't stay fit throughout the entire season. Yeah, and you rely on Savio and Doku. Really? When I suggested before the transfer in the shot, I was like, right, go to West. If you what problem is homegrown, go to West Ham, yeah, and put a 40 million or 45 million
Jared
to
Bowen,
Jared Bowen
you
and put
converted
him on
me.
the team
You
because Jared
converted
Bowen
me.
is English international. He scored goals. Yeah, he's someone who can play on right hand side. He likes to go into the box. He score headers. He score with the right foot, left foot. He's a goal scorer. But
Homegrown. Homegrown.
and I'm like, really? But now, yeah, if Haaland goes off injured, yeah, I'm gonna start mentioning the names that they gave to me: Bob, Savio, Doku, and Cherky. I'm gonna mention it because Marmouche is off to Afcon anyway. So anyway, uh, Morashid, you're right there, man. Go on. Your thoughts on the game, man.
You hear me right?
Yeah, yeah,
I just want to say there's nothing more I can say about this team. You know, I can't blame any player about
yeah. Speak up. Speak
that
up.
performance. Yes, that performance we displayed yesterday, last night. I can't blame any player because of I blame the coach and the system we are playing. The system we are playing is not sustainable, and I don't know why. In 3 games or almost 4 games, we play three different systems. We play against the Wolves, transition football, high speed transition football. We played badly second half, transition football, high volume, quick football, goal scoring football. Then we played against the Monaco, and then we revert back to pass, left side, right, like passing 300 passes, then pass it to Haaland. I don't think that's sustainable. And the reason is
Yo,
our coach.
are you close? Are you using a headset? So you're speaking through your phone?
You hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. Speak a bit louder, bro.
Yeah. And the reason is our coach is so afraid of other teams that he wanted to play this passive football. And I don't want it to watch or this kind of style of football. It's so boring. that we cannot even create anything in the game. Last night, especially in the half, if you watch second half, you all see every player was playing like like he was walking. And I was asking other uh, our fans, does Pep coach the teams as they are walking? It was like they were walking. Pass to Nico Gonzalez, pass to this guy, pass to this guy, and I don't want that kind of style of football. And you all people need to understand it. One of the biggest issue we have in our club is Pep. I defended Pep too much, and I say he's not the problem. He's not that. He's not that. But I'm telling you guys, he is the biggest problem in our team. And I'm telling you right now, the players we have in our club, I think we can be one of the strongest teams in Europe. But we can be the strongest teams in Europe while our coach doing this kind of style of football.
Mm.
I don't think that. Why do you think?
Do you
Why?
think this? Do you think the style of football doesn't suit the players that he has?
Yes, yes, yes. Each player we have do not suit the previous style of football of our coach. For example, we have our wingers. They are transitional wingers.
Yeah.
They are not touchline wingers that can
No.
pass like Chuck Grealish, like those players. They are not like that.
Mm.
And every time we look Doku. Every time we play transition football, Doku play a good football.
Even
And
even Savio. Remember
even
when we played? Remember when we played Chelsea away last season, first game of the
yes,
season. Savin
agree,
Doku transition.
agree, agree. People need to understand. Don't blame those players. Those players were coached to fail in a stadium in the match. They were coached badly that they cannot even score a one goal beside our striker. That's the biggest problem we have. Why do you think? Why do you think in every match only only our striker can score a goal? Why do you think that?
That's a good question.
The only answer that I can come up with is the system. The system is so badly that only our striker or Haaland can score a goal. People say we have to bring back our players, the each players. Oh,
Yeah, but
this.
other players are getting chances, but they're just not scoring. Tijani
No,
Ryan is getting chances,
no, no,
but he's
no,
not scoring.
no, 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 no. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. When they give when they give Haaland 10-year contract, do you know what that means?
Mm.
That means we need to build around the team around Haaland, right?
Which is rightly so, considering
We,
he's our main,
okay. That's
he's,
why.
he's our
That's
best
why. If
he's our best
that's
player.
why. If that's why every attacker we have is coached to serve Haaland, not to score a goals. That's the biggest problem we have, and I don't think that problem will be uh, will be will be solved, especially the players we have. And I don't think, and I'm telling you guys, if we play like that against the Brentford game, I don't think you will win.
Mm. Let me just ask this question because we're heading to close. What sort of approach do you think that we have to go with into that Brentford game? Because Brentford is at they're kind of in the mood because obviously they beat Man United at home and they've got another home game against Man City, and they probably watched the last night games and they were like, okay, that's how we need to play against them. Because listen, in the Premier League, it's a complete different game. And listen, away from Brentford, I think last season we drew 2-2. We were 2-0 up, and we drew 2-2, didn't we? So it's going to be a very difficult game. But what do you guys reckon?
I think Brentford is going to be a hard game. Semenyo is a problem. You know what? It's funny. If we were going to get rid of Doku, because Semenyo plays on the left, correct me if I'm wrong, Mateus. If we were going to get rid of Doku, and we're talking about we need to bring in an English player, very much like the
He plays both sides. He plays mainly on the right sometimes.
Yeah, okay, good to know that then.
He plays both sides. Yeah.
That is a player who I would be targeting. Get 2 goals, is aggressive, can cut inside, is willing to put in the shift defensively. The only downside is he's an Arsenal fan, and he's been openly flirting wanting to go to Arsenal. But if I'm City's decision makers, I don't care until Arsenal put in a bid. I would go after him, and he's still young enough to where if you're trying to chase the title again, I would go after Semenyo. I don't know who the Brentford manager is, but I just know that they're still competitive even after Thomas Frank left, and we're going to have to match the physicality and take our chances because Brentford will get chances to score. The question is, can the team absorb it and move on with it, or are they going to go in their shell and, like we've seen, that's lights out, and the opposition then goes on to score a winning goal or two? It's going to be a tough game, but I'm backing the guys. I'm hoping they're as upset from this tie with Monaco, and we'll see. But I'm hoping for a positive result. I want us to win and keep going from there. Because who do we play afterwards? Is it Everton? Mateus, you there?
Sorry, yeah, it's international break then Everton at home.
Okay, international break then Everton. Put it this way: I think the Everton match is going to be harder than Brentford because of
I think Brentford is going to be harder. He's away from home, man.
Who's Everton's striker?
Beto.
Okay, never mind. Well,
because you see Brentford, Brentford, they've lost a few players like Isa and whatnot, but they still a threat, especially in transition. Do you know what I mean? And when any team play Man City, we give any player a career, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you remember that guy in Sinsio who used to play for Brighton? Remember the treble season when we played there, Brighton away?
The crazy goal that he scored?
Yeah, and we never seen him playing again. We literally we've got a tendency of giving these scrubs a career. Do you know what I mean? Anyone at that Brentford team would say an up.
I've got the Brentford team now. I want to see their goals.
Semenyo plays for Bournemouth. He doesn't play for Brentford.
You're right. I was confusing.
Yeah,
I was confusing the two. My bad.
He used to be in Wemo, who plays for Brentford, but he's gone.
Wemo, you're right.
But yeah, listen, it's going to be I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. I just feel like we need to go attacking. We can't go with the same lineup as we did to them last night. I think Nunes needs to come into this team. Kusanov is not fit, but bringing Nunes in there and bringing in Savio on the right hand side. Listen, he might not score, but he'll be more of a threat than Bernardo Silva in there. But I know, and you guys know, that he's going to go with Bernardo Silva. So, yeah, if he does that, it's going to be a long day. Can't lie.
They have Damsgaard. I forgot about that. Yeah, not having that great of a season either.
Because it was, I think, last season was 2-2. But we were 2-0 up, and then we just capitulated, didn't we?
You know what? I'm looking at it now.
Because last season, let me just one second. Last season, Phil Foden scored 2 goals, and they literally equalize within 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes of the game, they scored 2 goals. That's literally what the start of our season. Teams now, they know, let's wait until the last 10-15 minutes of the game, because these guys, they're knackered. If they concede first, rest assured that we will concede another one.
Yeah, I'm looking at their last 5. They beat United, but besides that, draw with Villa, they lost to Sunderland, they drew at Chelsea, and they got beat by Fulham. I mean, I think Chelsea and United are not. I don't think they're good. Well, Chelsea's not good because of Maresca and some of the hodgepodge, but I think United, I don't think they're a good team. Villa, they beat Villa on penalties. So, no, we should beat Brentford. We should beat Brentford. If we don't beat Brentford,
The thing is, they haven't lost a home game. Because they haven't lost a home game. See, because their first home game, I think they beat Villa 1-0, and then they played Chelsea. They drew 2-2 to Chelsea, and they beat Man United. They haven't lost a home game.
You are correct.
It's gonna be hard, man.
Yeah, they have not lost at home. So it's a stubborn side. Great.
Listen, we're gonna do it. We probably do it like a brink preview. I think Friday. But yeah, I just want to give everyone thought. I need to an open here. I need to got work tomorrow.
Yep.
Big up everyone. Drop the like.
Man.
Yeah, and I'll speak to you soon, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.